have news that might elicit a degree of schadenfreude from a rival station, but do we really want a corner-cutting national broadcaster, I suppose?
Or do we even want one? So, yeah, it's deeper cuts loom at BBC as Sunak prepares to block licence fee increase. It was going to go up from by almost £15 to £173.30 in April. He's saying no. And the BBC have had to broadcast 1,000 fewer hours of new TV shows this year, so that's a good thing. There's less of their propaganda.
I mean, do you genuinely dislike them as an entity? Would you? I like them. I think it's a good thing for the country as a whole. I'm probably a bit of an outlier at GB News.
I would love them to do their job and be great. And I know people there who work very hard and they try and be impartial, and then they get undermined by idiots like Gary Lineker. I want the BBC to be great, but they're not anymore. They were terrible on Israel. They were obviously biased on Brexit. No one takes BBC Verify seriously. It's an absolute joke.
That's true. Verify has been, I think, a significant misstep.
Disaster. They're completely woke on arts programming.
Yeah.
So if the BBC could have done their job, that would have been great. And it would have been hard because we're in such a polarised time to be truly neutral. It would have been a very difficult task, which they completely failed at. But if they're not going to do it, which they're obviously not, then they can't justify the licence fee.
I saw something on Twitter yesterday, Josh, which was a guy called John Elledge, who I think is deputy editor at the New Statesman or something like that, laughing at Darren Grimes of GB News for being annoyed that Doctor Who was being ridiculously woke again, had cast an Indian man as Isaac Newton and was suggesting the Doctor was gay. And Elledge was going, don't you get it? We're enjoying it. We're trolling you. That's the whole point, is to troll. And I was thinking, yes, that is the point. We do understand that. And that is why you are going to lose... the consensus that you need to remain funded.
Instead of focusing on just making good stories. Like the week before, there was all this stuff about non-binary aliens, and it totally lost itself and went up its... because it was like the alien, and then it just broke its own rules. Like, you've got to respect the pronouns of this alien, and then another alien turns up, and then they totally break that rule and start referring it to as another thing. So all of this stuff, it's when you're using...
that's legacy programming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And and so it's going up. They're talking about it. If they were to go by inflation, it would go up £15 to 174 quid. That's a lot of money. And I think that the other thing is now, the reason why people can start seeing the end of this model financing for the BBC is because a lot of us have subscription services. So we'll pay Disney, Netflix or whatever, the thing is, we have a choice with those, and if they start putting out rubbish programs like Netflix has done recently, or they go super duper woke in their programming, you go, you know what, I'm going to cut it off. And we don't have that option here.
We don't, and I mean, a few years ago I would have defended it for various reasons, such as it's great there's no advertising because that limits how much advertising but now we all watch it on catch up anyway, and you just fast forward through the advertising, don't you?
Then you've got the internal culture. I mean, you had that guy saying that white people caused him mental health problems. You can just be overtly racist and face no penalty, and we have to pay for that.
How much of this money are they spending on Stonewall and diversity schemes? And as Nick says, are we getting value for money? Now, I've come in here when I started GB News, very, very pro-BBC. I've worked for the BBC, and in many ways it is a wonderful organisation, but they are not doing their job. When was the last great comedy show that came out?
It was yours.
Yeah, mine. That was the last time.
But Josh, the last one.
It's almost as if you change your opinion based on who's employing you.